I think networking is a very important part where a lot of people fall short. You'll be surprised how open the gaming industry is. People love to support up and coming talent. So reaching out to them and asking them about the different tool sets or how they broke into the industry, it is a great way to start a conversation and getting to know someone. And they could introduce you to another colleague that might be looking for a 3D artist. So, just in some sense, be smart and connect with people and create a name for yourself. And, don't be scared to show your work and ask for feedback, because for anyone in this industry, taking feedback and improving is a big part of it. So yeah, just be open-minded. And sometimes obviously it's quite daunting approaching someone that you don't know and asking for advice. It's just one of those things. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. It's just taking that step in doing it, and it will pay dividends.
For the industry, my quick advice to that would be, well, be super proactive and perfect your portfolio for sure. We've just talked about your portfolio, and the same rules would apply for that for sure. Basically, visit industry events. That's something hugely important to us. You're here now, right? You're engaging with different events. So that is a really good start, and more of that. The more events you can attend, the greater range of people that you can speak to with experience, the better it's going to be for you. And you can learn so much from hearing anecdotes and getting advice straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So it's really important. And don't be afraid to network. So, reach out to people, get involved, speak to people as much as you can, and never be afraid to kind of just make that decision to message somebody, send that email, get involved, register at the event, and make that commitment, and make the time to do it. And you'll reap the benefits longer term in the end.
Working with teams experience, working with other people, it's really important to know how well you work with others. So that does sort of come from, having a bit of experience in a company. However, again, I feel like your portfolio, if you're doing a lot of extracurricular work and you have a lot of mods and a lot of really interesting things to look at, that still counts. It shows that you're being active, over that period of time. And I still think it counts.
There's no point having kind of like a caricature style portfolio if actually the work that you're going to be working on is realistic. I guess for programming and design, often being able to show a completed project from one end to the other, and a bit of your thought process and how you actually came across sort of like trials and errors along the way, and how you overcame them. Things like that really, really help. So even though it is good to have things that you might have started or worked as a team at university or wherever, independent projects and things that you have completed from start to finish really help.
Again, you can put that on your CV, you can add that in a cover letter, or again, it might be very clear from the work that you've already done. And also don't be afraid to include links to game jams or games you've actually made, because that stands you head and shoulders above other applicants. Colin's probably had this many times over the years, where you sit there to a graduate and a graduate tells you the only thing they ever want to do in their life is make games. And you go, cool, so what games have you made? And when someone goes, well, none, they go, okay, so you really want to do it, but you've not done it. And then the next applicant walks in and says, all I want to do is make games. Oh, have you ever made any games? Yep, I've done 6 game jams. I've made this game, I've made this game, and I've done this with my friends. And instantly that leaps you above the other candidate. Not sort of, it's because you're willing to apply what you're saying. Is a passion of yours, and it really does help hugely, especially as we're a game studio, we make games. So you're speaking to people who also love making games, and straight away they feel like you're one of them, and that you're one of us. So that's something I definitely say as well there. Reasoning and understanding of why, but also doing your research is really key. So if if RTS isn't your genre generally, but you want to be a concept artist and you want to work in a game studio, well, go on YouTube, have a look at the games we make, have a look at the gameplay, have a look at the sort of things you'd be working on, and then that you can work out whether that also fits the type of work you're doing as well.
I know it can be difficult writing a cover letter for every single job that you apply for, but they let you know a little bit about, the employer know a little bit about who you are, what you like, what you're passionate about, and why you're applying. So I really highly recommend a cover letter, even if it's a short one, just to basically inject a little bit of yourself and your drive into every job application that you do. From portfolio side, obviously it varies massively discipline to discipline, but you can quite easily find out what the industry standard tools are. If you're a designer, having something like a link that you can click on that has a shipped game that you have created, however small it may be, that's going to do you absolute wonders when you go to interview, because that's what they want to see, people who can finish and ship projects. And likewise, art for ArtStation, GitHub for programming. And a thing that always comes up as well is show what parts of work that you contributed to if it's a group project, and also show your problem solving. Let people know, and the gent from Creative Assembly said this as well, is show people how you got to the solution that you got to, whether that's across art, design, or programming, because that lets them know a little bit more about who you are and how you think. So all those things are really, really good. And just make sure your CV is short and sweet. It doesn't need to be 6 pages long, because they won't read it. This is your advice, Colin, that you gave recently, is that, you only have a few seconds to catch an employer's eye, and you need to make sure that you make those seconds count. So keep it short, sweet, concise, to the point, and let them know who you are.
Everybody will say this in these Q&As. Not having a cover letter, or not putting the effort into a cover letter to explain why you would like to join the team. Not doing any research. Like, every one of these companies that you're talking to has their website that talks about who they are, what they're looking for. So make sure that feels right for you, and then get that across in your cover letter.
And just making sure that your CV stands out a little bit as well. I've been going through some CVs over the last month or so, and there's some really, really basic, just black and white CVs with no spell check, no, just basic formatting. And that's definitely off-putting straight away, especially if you're coming into a creative industry. We're looking for somebody that kind of pops on a CV before we've even kind of spoken to that person. And I've seen quite a few really badly put together CVs. So definitely get your advice, and from a second party, third party, fourth party, and get as much advice as you can with regards to a CV before you send it through.
I would say on job applications, things like Ninja, work hard, play hard, all of those sorts of things are normally red flags. Look for ones that have an inclusive, welcoming culture and talk openly about their ethos, and also the things that they don't do so well. Don't be afraid to ask questions in interview as well. And if they don't give you the answers that you want to hear, then generally those are red flags as well. There's a lot of companies out there who have kind of, not necessarily bad reputations, but have been embroiled in certain things, and ask questions about those things, and if you get straight answers, that's a really good sign. Also expect salary expectations on job applications as well. When you're applying for a job, you should know how much money you're going to get. If you don't see that on there and they're not willing to tell you that, generally that's also a red flag as well. Things to look out for that are good is, companies that really talk openly and honestly about their culture, who they are, the type of organization that they want to be, and also the things that they invest in as well, whether that's social impact projects or education, ones that have an outward looking view of, how to support their local community and to kind of make the industry a better place. And then also ones that are, willing to talk and answer questions at interviews, always really good as well. And of course, a diverse and representative makeup of staff as well. Organizations that care about this typically have much more welcoming and inclusive working environments as well. So yeah, those would be good things to look out for.